Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Welcome to my July TBR video. I am always excited to film these TBR videos. Every single month, I actually get really excited to film them and I can't wait. So honestly, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Everybody kind of already knows how this works. This jar has a bunch of titles that have been on my TBR for kind of like the longest or for a long time. Books that I tend to kind of just look over, and so this is a way that I kind of make myself look at them and read them. But usually we'll pick one per month, but if I'm being honest, June did not really go as planned when it came to the reading category. I basically just had to prioritize my job and my career over reading in the month of June, which is totally fine. What I'm going to do is just carry over those two books that I picked last month, which was Shadow of the Gods and Love in Other Words. And I'm kind of giggling because neither one of these I like really wanted to read at the time, but honestly, like I've heard a lot of you guys actually commented on the video and basically were telling me that both of these books are like really amazing. Some of your favorites. I've already started this one and I know that I really like this already, but this one I definitely am going to be giving a chance and I am excited. So the point of picking from that jar is to read these books. So there's no point in putting these back on the shelf and picking them later on. I'm just gonna go ahead and bring them into the July TBR and then plan on reading these in July. So we're gonna skip that jar for now and then I'm going to just jump into our regular TBR jar. Y'all already know that I'm like absolutely terrible at remembering new releases every month, but this month there is a new release that I'm really excited about. It's the second book in the Forbidden Alchemy series, or whatever that series is called. I do really want to read that when it comes out. And I got The Unicorn Hunters by Catherine Arden in last month. So I do really want to read that book. But as far as like knowing what I want to read, I really don't know. Like I've been kind of in a weird mood ever since finishing Yesteryear. Puppy picks? Wait, we picked this one last month. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to pick like 3 to 5 books and lay them all out on the ground. I'm gonna send him a picture. He's at work right now, so I don't know if he's gonna be able to respond anytime soon. But we can go ahead and send it now. It's a good one that we picked that one first, actually. Let's actually pick the books first. Like I just said, I actually have no idea what I want to read. I've been in such a weird mood after finishing Yesteryear. So I guess these are what's on my mind right now. Okay, let me explain. This one is very different than these two, but I have just been really wanting to read Jane Eyre recently, and it's mainly because I have a friend, Haley. She's also a booktuber as well. She has just been getting to her classics era this year. She loved it so much, and I've seen a lot of people really love this book. And I've had it for a hot minute now, and I definitely really want to read it. And it's kind of been like in the forefront of my mind recently for some reason. And usually when I'm feeling this way, kind of slumpy and like not really able to make a decision, if I pick a book that like, if it's like out of the norm for me, usually knocks me right back into normal. So I am gonna put this in there. And then I also really want to continue the Witcher series. So I've been wanting to read this. I might even pick it up after like my current read, to be honest. And then Muse of Nightmares. Definitely really want to read Muse of Nightmares after finishing Strange the Dreamer. I love that book so much and I need to continue it. And apparently this is better than the first one, which is saying a lot. So these are going to be the 3 books that I put down for him, and then he can pick whichever one he feels like he wants me to read. Okay, picture is sent. I really have no idea which one he's going to pick because he pays more attention than I think when it comes to like my reading and stuff. All right, first prompt down, and this is also a new thing that I've been doing is getting rid of the prompts or like putting them away or taking them out of the jar after I use them so we don't reuse prompts. I thought I had taken that one out, but I guess I didn't. Seems kind of like a longer one. First book you see on IG. All right, here we go. Pick our phone up again. So basically what I'm gonna do for this is I'm going to screen record. I'm going to open my Instagram. I'm not gonna look at it. I need to make sure I'm actually on my Bookstagram, which I'm not. So let me switch over to my Bookstagram. I'm going to just go over to my homepage. Basically, I'm going to read whatever book I see first that I have physically. So whatever book is on my TBR that I see first, I'm going to read that. Nope. Alice in Wonderland. Maybe? Is that Alice? That's not Alice in Wonderland. It is Alice in Wonderland. I have read that and I really liked it. No. I love Kelly Shaw, she's the best. Oh, Haley. No. I'm actually so excited for this. Haley's also been reading Lord of the Rings, and I don't know if it's for the first time for her or not. It is. So we have actually the same copies of Lord of the Rings. So let me just show you. This is already turning out to be like a really amazing TBR. And we haven't even picked one book yet. Okay, so both Haley and I have these beautiful copies of Lord of the Rings. This is like an illustrated edition, kind of. But she has been reading The Fellowship of the Ring. And it really, I already kind of wanted to start the Lord of the Rings this year. And I was kind of playing around with the idea of doing it in audiobook because I feel like that would be a really cool vibe. I grew up with Lord of the Rings. My dad's a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings nerd. I just love everything about it, but I've never read the books. Like, I've never read the books. I've read The Hobbit like actually 10 to 12 times, but I've never read the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I think it's just because I'm intimidated, and I've kind of heard that it can be a little slow, but I'm kind of in this like version of life right now in my like reading life that I don't really care how long it takes me to read a book as long as I'm really enjoying it. And if it's something that I'm enjoying, I don't want it to go by too fast. Like, I want it to take time. And I'm kind of feeling that while I'm reading the Game of Thrones series. And so this honestly could be like a really perfect time to finally start the Lord of the Rings. And this was actually one of the books recommended by you guys when I was doing the like reading your favorite books, or like reading your 5-star reads vlog. Like, this was one of the books that I was really toying with reading. So here we go, I guess. This is gonna be one of the books that we read in July. I'm insanely excited for this. Getting back to my fantasy roots is always a good idea when I'm in like such a weird little slump like this. I wouldn't even call it a slump. It's more just like, I keep saying decision paralysis, but that's truly what it is. I just can't decide what I want to read, and sometimes I just need somebody to like put a book in my hand and be like, read this book, and that's gonna be what I read, and I'll be happy about it. This is a book from the third shelf. These are so similar to the prompts that we were getting last month. Last time it was a book from the second shelf, I think. This fourth shelf right here is kind of like my TBR literary fiction shelf. Then I also have my TBR fantasy shelf here, and there's 3 shelves on there too. But it's just like, do I want to stick with fantasy or do I want to go lit fic? I kind of want to stick with fantasy. So I'm kind of thinking fantasy. Was it just pick any book? A book from the third shelf. It's literally pick any book. So that's kind of nice. I'm just gonna take you over here. So this is my this is my filming setup right here. I always have to move the lamp out of the way. But so this is my first shelf. This is like 26 books in 2026 are on over here. I've got more books here, and to be honest, like a lot of the books at the bottom are books that I will probably not read anytime soon, which could be good that we're doing this. So to be honest, the first book that I'm really seeing right now is The Spell Shop. That could be a good option. Burning Witch is always a good option. Song of the Darkwood could be good. And then kind of the rest of them I'm not really feeling. Sword of Kaigan is high on my list, but I don't want to rush into that one. I'm really feeling this one, kind of like a witchy, cute read. Yeah, that's it. I am going to be reading The Spell Shop, and this is by Sarah Beth Durst. I'm not going to lie, I've almost unhauled this book a few times, and every single time that I go to unhaul it, I read the description and it makes me want to keep it. And I don't know, the only reason that I am thinking about unhauling it is because I've been like so brutal this year as far as like getting rid of books that I've had for a long time and haven't touched. I'm so tired of just having a bunch of books, kind of like feeling overwhelming. That sounded so wrong. I love having a bunch of books, but I don't love having a bunch of books that have just been sitting there because it feels like it stresses me out. Like, I want to only have books on my shelf that I want to read. Anyways, okay. Every time I read the description of this book, it makes me want to keep it. It makes me want to read it like all over again. So I will read the whole thing. Let's see. Keela has always had trouble dealing with people. Thankfully, as a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium, she and her assistant Kaz, a magically sentient spider plant, have spent the last decade sequestered among the Empire's most precious spellbooks, preserving their magic for the city's elite. Yeah, this is gonna be so cute. When a revolution begins and the library goes up in flames, she and Kaz flee with all the spellbooks they can carry and head to the remote island Keela never thought she'd see again, her childhood home. I'm just like picturing the spider plant just like carrying a bunch of books running down a hill somewhere. Taking refuge there, Keela discovers, much to her dismay, a nosy and very handsome neighbor who can't take a hint and keeps showing up day day after day to make sure she's fed and help fix up her new home. In need of income, Keela identifies something that even the bakery in town doesn't have: jam. With the help of an old recipe book her parents left her and a bit of illegal magic, her cottage garden is soon covered in ripe berries. But magic can do no more than make life a little sweeter, so Keela risks the consequences of using unsanctioned spells and opens the island's first ever and much needed secret spell shop. Like a Hallmark rom-com full of mythical creatures and fueled by cinnamon rolls of magic, the spell shop will heal your heart and feed your soul. This is making me feel like Legends and Lattes. It made me feel just literally reading that description. So yeah, this is gonna be it. We're gonna read this. I'm honestly so excited. And it's not like, I've always been waiting until like fall time or whatever to read witchy books, but I'm so over that now. Like, I'm reading witchy books all year round. Come on. We've only picked 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 2 more. Really enjoying this, so maybe we'll pick more than that. We'll see. But this one feels like a new prompt. And I did put, a few of you guys did actually comment some prompts on the last video, and so I went ahead and put those in here. So those are in here. An odd number of pages. So it has to end on an odd number of pages. I wish we can kind of pick from those 3 books that I sent Jamie. Let's see. What would I like to read right now? I don't have it with me, but let me just look up the next Game of Thrones book and see how many pages that has. Oh, see, I already forgot the new release too. I'm so annoying. A Storm of Swords, mass market paperback. How many pages? 1,216. Well, I guess Game of Thrones is not gonna work. Unicorn Hunters. Ooh, it does. 347. Maybe this one? Or even Sparrow, because I did not read Sparrow yet. 391. Damn, what should I do? We have one more to look at. So these 2 could work, but we also have the second Forbidden Alchemy. Let me just look that one up. This one doesn't come until like end of July though. 480 anyways. There is one more actually. Actually, there's 2 more. Let me just check 2 more. I haven't talked about this on my channel yet, but I did get Broken Dove. God, this is a chunky book. I've only heard really not good things about this. No, that's an even page. 588. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this one right now. All right, last one to check. Tortured Souls. Tortured Souls by Melissa K. Roerick. I really want to read this. Oh, 626. I was actually like really excited for this one. I just need to see when the second book comes out. So I guess it's just gonna be between Sparrow and Unicorn Hunters. I'm kind of feeling like I need to just put Sparrow on there because I did not get to this in June. Like I said, I still have a week left of June, but to be honest, I'm probably not going to get to it. So I'm thinking that I need to put this on there regardless. The only thing is I really want to read the Unicorn Hunters, but I'm going to be a good girl and I'm going to put Sparrow on my TBR. If we can get the Unicorn Hunters on with the next prompt, I might try and do that. I do really want to read Sparrow and it's been on my TBR for a long time, so it's time to read it. There's no reason why I shouldn't, except that there are other books that take priority, you know what I mean? Okay, here we go. This might, oh, it feels like, oh, it's 2 prompts. Yeah, we'll open both. Oh my God. Okay, this is the first one. A new to you author. Dang, Catherine Arden would not work for that. All right, I'm gonna open the second one. We're gonna pick 2 books, but I just wanna see what both of them are. A new to you author. I don't know. A book you would recommend to a friend without ever reading it. Well, we got our Unicorn Hunter on that one because I would recommend Catherine Arden to anybody. She is amazing. I love her writing. So we got her on the TBR, and for fun, we're going to pick a new to me author, which I think is a really, really fun prompt. I love this prompt. And let's see, what do we have on the TBR so far? We have kind of a lot. That's okay. Shadow of the Gods. We've got Fellowship of the Ring, The Spell Shop, Sparrow, Unicorn Hunters, and whatever Jamie picks, which is either going to be with The Witcher, Muse of Nightmares, or Jane Eyre, which are all very different and could go either way. Honestly, I could really pick anything, but I should probably go for a shorter book. So let's look over here. A new to me author. I think I'm gonna go with this. Haven. I don't think I've ever read anything by Emma Donoghue, and I kept seeing this book around everywhere. I had read this, or I read like the synopsis at Book People a little while ago, and it sounds really, really interesting. As far as I could tell, this is about Margaret Atwood. Even blurbed it. It says combines pressure cooker intensity and radical isolation to stunning effect. Well, now I'm excited even more. Basically, what I could tell about this book is that it is following some monks that are trapped on a deserted island somewhere, and things happen. And that's all that I really know. Like that just premise alone sounds really, really cool. I love anything to do with like people trapped on an island, having to survive, like living off the land. And then with this little aspect of like the monks and probably like a religious aspect, sounds really twisty and feels like it could be really, really cool. And I'm pretty sure that Emma Donoghue is like a pretty well-known author, if I had to guess. I know that she wrote The Room, or just Room, and that was like a really twisty book. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't stop thinking about it, and literally like 2 or 3 months went by and I finally decided to just pick it up next time I saw it. So that's what I did. And now we're gonna read it in July. And Jamie has still not responded. Let me see if I can just call him really quick. He's probably busy.
Hey.
Hey, do you have a second? Can you just look at the picture I sent you and tell me which book you want me to read?
Oh, Jesus. This one?
The Witcher?
Yeah.
Oh, yay. Okay, perfect.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, bye. Yay, they picked The Witcher. I'm so excited. Okay, awesome. So he actually, I called him, he was really busy, and he actually asked his friend to pick for me, and she's a big reader too, and she picked The Witcher. And I'm not sure if she's actually read the series or not, but she said she was curious, so we're gonna be reading The Witcher. This is Baptism of Fire. This is the 5th one. So there's the 2 prequels, and then this is like the 3rd standard book in the series. So I'm so excited. I need a good hug from The Witcher. So here we go. I think we have a really, really great TBR this month. I'm so excited. I don't know how many times I've said that I'm excited, but I'm clearly excited. We have another chunky TBR. Not mad about it at all. I'm really not mad about it. I'm excited for every single one of these. These 2 up top, I'm going to try and prioritize a little bit earlier on in the month so I can get them done. This is Love and Other Words and Shadow of the Gods. I might pick one depending on how the month is going, but both of these we had picked from that TBR jar of books that have been on my TBR the longest. We have The Witcher, Haven, Unicorn Hunters, and then Sparrow and the Spell Shop and Fellowship of the Ring. And wow, what a amazing TBR. Let me know if you guys have read any of these or which ones you guys are most excited to see a review on, and I am gonna try and prioritize all of them. I think that this is like a really, really good Alex mix of books right now. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and subscribe. There's like a lot of you guys who watch but are not subscribed yet. So I would love to have you guys join and hit the like button if you enjoyed it. And I hope you guys have had a wonderful week and weekend. And I will see you guys in the next video next Saturday. Bye guys.